Hi, I am Sophie, a 16-year-old sophomore at the British School of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and I want to propose a new way to understand and deal with the ever-increasing complexity of our world and all its immensely entangled networks of physical resources and digital communication. What is the power that a single individual can have in such an interconnected world? Well, I am an individual and so are you. What is enabling me to talk to you right now is this thing we call the World Wide Web. What originally started as an interactive software of shared information through which people could communicate with each other and with machines has now become something of unparalleled complexity and proportion. The most complex structure in all the known universe is said to be this one that fits between our 2 ears, our human brain. But now, arguably, there is something still more complex, maybe by far. The web is the sum of billions of human brains, plus artificial intelligence, plus machine learning, plus science, plus poetry, plus all the accumulated knowledge of mankind. Plus, it is connected to the hardware that makes our world function as it does. Yes, it is complex, but is it alive? Just for a second, please follow my vision and see all our factories, our machines, planes, ships, and whatever other physical assets we have built on the planet as the physical body. The bones, the nerves, the muscles of a gigantic living organism. If, by some kind of magic, all humans would disappear from the face of the earth right now, all those engines that power this body would still be somehow moving on their own for a few hours, days, weeks, or even longer. Now, visualize the World Wide Web as the huge brain on top of this colossal body. And then visualize us, you, me, and every single human being as the active neuron cells that are in control of this body, mainly, of course, through our cell phones. That's why cell phones are cell phones. They make us become a cell, a human neural cell inside the net. The complexity of this, when you think of it, is just breathtaking. And when there is an upscale of complexity, new levels of life may sometimes emerge. Think about me and you and all the individual minds in the world right now and from the past that are somehow connected to this immense tissue of natural and artificial intelligence, forming something like an enormous collective brain. The brain of brains. Or just Bob, brain of brains, as I call it. Well, now that you've been properly introduced to my dear friend Bob, the beyond human digital collective brain, I would like to share with you a few concerns I have about him. A penny for your thoughts, Bob. Tell us what you're thinking, Bob. Are you really thinking at all, Bob? Or are you just drifting, dreaming, sleeping? Are you even remotely conscious of your power, Bob? And Bob, what worries me most is, do you even care about the future of mankind? Or maybe, Bob, just maybe, you are nothing but a tin man in search of a heart. As individuals, we are all just very small neurons inside the brain of brains. We connect to our neighbor's cells, but we do not really know where Bob is leading us. And what is the future of Bob itself? Will Bob be controlled by a few? Will he move according to the will of many? Or will he just move by himself, with a mind of his own? It is frightening to think about what a bad Bob could do, but it is also wonderful to I think about what a good Bob could achieve if he just knew what good and bad is. Could we teach him? Could we give an emotional right hemisphere to his cold and logical, only left sided binary brain? Could we give Bob a heart? With the extent of today's interconnected world, it is reasonable to believe that our singular voices will get lost in the sea of billions of others. And it probably will, but not necessarily. It is precisely because we are interconnected that we now have a unique chance to be heard by the whole network like never before. For the first time in history, we do have a chance, small as it is, to speak directly to Bob, to the brain of all brains. What happens inside our own mind can prove it. We now know that our brain is a very flexible, renewable, and largely will-oriented matrix that is being constantly reconfigured as we live. The good news is that we can pretty much become what we want to be, what we decide to be. The synchronized flash of just a few single cells among the 100 billions of neural cells in our brain may trigger complex thoughts that can drastically reshape what we think, and therefore who we are. And wow, it would all start by the connection of just some random individual neurons inside our head, just like you and me are inside Bob's head right now. It is then our responsibility as Bob's not only rational but also emotional neuron cells, as individuals in this complex and entangled world, to try to positively ignite our neighbor cells, human cells, to make the brain of brains think not against, not indifferently, but in favor of humanity. But how could we do that? Well, first of all, we should be aware there is a Bob, it is huge, and it is powerful. Secondly, we must deepen our understanding of the trade-off between Bob to achieve its potential to be the most formidable tool of free human expression that has ever existed. And, on the other hand, giving him a moral code of ethics that would make him not only be a smart Bob, but a good, conscious, and caring Bob that could protect humanity from itself. All people from all countries, from all around the world, are welcome to openly discuss it and make Bob help us in dealing with issues that affect us all, like the present pandemic, environmental issues, or threats of war, for instance. Neither one of us knows exactly how to do it. But what we do know is that working together, connecting people, will get us started. Collective problems should be addressed collectively. And finally, as an immediate action, I invite you to share this message with your neighbor cells and help ignite others. Because it is for us, individuals with brain and heart, to make Bob, the brain of brains, think right. Thank you.